No, 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 not the beans! Not the beans! Hello folks, Phil Gallagher aka ThrabenU here for another Legacy video, and today we're going to be playing a 5-color Up the Beanstalk control deck list. Now, on this channel, I am a big believer in basic lands and good mana bases, but with these 5-color Up the Beanstalk deck lists, the greed is heavily rewarded. And despite the fact that it is a 5-color mana base, it doesn't always feel like that. The upside of playing a 5-color specifically control deck list in Legacy right now is the fact that you get to play Leyline Binding. And while this was a kind of joke card and the butt of many, many, many jokes in the Legacy community after WotC told us that Leyline Binding might fix Legacy, the printing of Up the Beanstalk turning this into a cantripping generic removal card really pushed it over the line into the realm of playability. And Lorien Revealed as a draw 4, or maybe a draw 5 if you have multiple beans, becomes really attractive. And you get to cantrip off so many things. Solitude, Terminus, 4th Eorlingas, Lorien Revealed, Force of Will. This is a deck that has really good endgame inevitability. And so as long as you make it out of the first few turns, which your removal spells and counter spells are, there to do, you should be able to outgrind most things in the format. So, Dragon235 from my Discord gave me this deck to play. And honestly, it looks pretty good. Like, there's a lot to like here. Everything from here on over in the deck list just cantrips off of Up the Beanstalk. So that's a whopping 15 cards. I don't think I need to tell you that that means that Up the Beanstalk is going to be good. I think that is pretty obvious. So in playing with your bean, right? Never mind. We're doing it live. Okay. When playing an Up the Beanstalk deck, you do have to choose your colors, and sometimes decks just end up being closer to Bug and try to rely on things like Life from the Loam and Witherbloom Command as alternative sources of card advantage. I kind of derailed. I had another thought, but I had a coughing fit and paused the video for a minute. So we're just going to move on. One of the things that I like about this deck list is it's pretty good at killing the opponent with like an Uro, 3 Murktides, and 4th Eorlingas here. Like, we just have real cards that can do significant amounts of damage to our opponent. It's not like we're looking to deal, all our chip damage with Orcish Bowmasters, Snapcaster Mages, and that sort of stuff. I generally speaking like the tools that are at my disposal. Hopefully the mana base feels good. There's only one Wasteland here, which is going to be primarily to help out with things like Urza's Saga. And we have some other thing like Deed and Force of Vigor and Dress Down in the sideboard that can help out with that as well. Sideboard looks pretty good. The one thing that stands out to me here that's a little weird is a snow-covered swamp in the sideboard. I kind of have to imagine what that's there for. Maybe that's for Delver, where you're expecting your black sources to be under attack. Maybe it is just when you want to just board up one more land. Because it's not like black is the most important color for a Blood Moon matchup. So I would have to think about that one a little bit. I really like the second Terminus in the sideboard, though. Terminus has done a lot of work against me recently, so I'm happy to be the one casting that for a change. Yeah, so why don't we go ahead and hop into the matches here. If you need any of these wonderful 5-color cards, check out Cool Stuff Inc. and use promo code ThrabenU to save a little bit on your order. And just as a generic plug for my own stuff, remember YouTube members as well as Patreon people get access to my Discord server where you can chat and cube with people and do all sorts of fun things as well as chat with me a little bit more. And YouTube members in particular also get early access to my videos. All right, beans. Alrighty, got a pretty easy keep here. I will kind of have to figure out the mana base as we go along. My beans! My beautiful beans! Yeah, alright, that was expected. Let's fetch something. Grixis colors? Grixis colors is a lot of colors. I'll just play this to have white available. I'm hoping I'm playing against some sort of, like, Merit Lodge deck, where my Source of Plowshares just get to do a lot of heavy lifting. If we were playing against something like, I don't know, like a Storm combo deck list, I've just got, like, the wrong hand. Okay. I wonder what we're playing against. It'd be like a Singleton Wasteland and a Control deck list, yeah. My hand's not very good versus Control. Like, all it takes is me drawing some beans for that to change, so, like, I think that's not the end of the world. And, like, I'm fine versus something like Orcish Bowmasters right now. Hey, an Orcish Bowmasters. I'll just Swords to main body. I'm gonna leave the token there. I don't really care about some chip damage from the token. Fuck. Leave my lands alone, you jerk. And, you know, goes to show you, basic lands are good, right? It's not like these wastelands are taking us out of the game, but they are going to very noticeably make the Leyline Binding worse. Again, don't care too much about the chip damage. Hey, a basic land. It's good. Looks like, oh, nope, not cantripping. I mean, that's going to resolve, but then I think I just Leyline Binding it with the trigger on the stack. Fetch. Blue, white, green, black. Leaves me without red, but there's not very much red in the deck. Get out of here. I just really do not want my opponent to have a source of card advantage. Perfect mana base. Notably, like, to be fair, like, we have gotten wastelanded multiple times. Fuck. Yeah. It has so many goddamn wastelands. And this is the draw of doing something like bug beans, right? Is like you can get away with running more things like wastelands. I don't think I'm waiting for a blue card here. Actually, this Murktide Regent fucking sucks. I have a Source of Plowshares in my graveyard. We're waiting. My opponent draws the 4th wasteland, though. We riot. We will be in the streets. And there will be violence. That's not a wasteland. Probably have to Force a Will Planeswalker. All sorts of Plowshares that with Force of Will backup. Get out. Cool. And, like, this is why we didn't remove that orc. Sure. Like, I'll remove the orc rather than let a Terminus rot in my hand. At this point, do I Murktide? Sure. Terminus, swords, and just some lands. I expect that my opponent will just, like, murderous cut this or whatever. Get your beans. Actually, there's not many things in the graveyard right now. Maybe Murktide Regent will get to do some punchies. Sure. Oh, damn, we get to untap with Murktide Regent. Murktide Regent backed by Force of Will. I don't mind this, but, like, my opponent has the Up the Beanstalk. Like, they have the card advantage engine here. So I am just going to be universally worse than them at every aspect of this game from here until I get my own card advantage. Sure. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah, that's murderous cut. So trigger on the stack. I will Force of Will. But, like, my opponent is about to draw a Lorien Revealed and then get a draw 4. Fuck. Well, we tried. This is probably the disadvantage is now insurmountable moment. Concede? I think I just value my time and concede here. Like, my opponent will have 5 cards in hand, and then we'll cast a Lorien Revealed at their convenience. I'm off multiple colors. Like, as much as I like trying to grind games out, I just don't think it's correct to keep playing in that position. Alright. What am I doing? Generally speaking, I tend to, like, board out Force of Wills in Fair Blue Mirrors, but like Beans turn Force of Wills into cantrips, and I'm not really used to that. I don't have a Life from Loam. That would be huge. I could play something like Force of Vigor or Pernicious Deed to clear Beans. I think a Terminus is going to become a Force of Vigor. Like I could play like Force of Vigor, Veil, Raisin Borrower over my forces. I think I'm just going to keep my forces though. This has 2 lands and a Witherbloom command to get another. I'm just like not super excited about this. Like this hand works really hard to just make basic land drops against my opponent's Wasteland deck. This one I like better. The Solitude is very, very, very far away from being a Magic the Gathering card. So let's just get rid of that. You may ponder. So end of turn, I obviously fetch. Ponder shuffled. I don't think I'm trying to maximize colors immediately. Let's just get like Tundra and Trop for the time being. And work on rounding out Leyline Binding a bit later. Fuck! I'm so upset. I am so incredibly upset. This Uro is kind of hard to cast in the early game if I also want to respect other colors. I kept their Ponder this time. Like, I'm incentivized to take a second Trop here, which is really weird. Because, like, I am a 5-color deck. Beans. Alright, this isn't so bad. I'm gonna grab a Cough Drop. I think we're in here for a long haul. Oh, man. Fucking hate these Wastelands. The Wastelands are, like, gonna cause me to play into Days again, now that I know that's a thing. I get knocked off 2 Swords of Plowshares. Absolutely brutal. Play around Days. And hopefully resolve this. Like a... Fuck me! Alright, well... Another land and I can cast an Uro and hopefully that resolves. God damn it. These beans are fucking cursed. They are wasteland magnets. Damn. Alright, at least it wasn't a 3rd wasteland. 1 land away from Uro again. Seems like it might be Bowmaster o'clock. I am correct. It's not like we're cantripping now anyway. Also, like, there are, like, Brainstorms and Ponders in my deck, right? Like, where are all my cantrips at? There's the C. Yeah. So this is the same position as previously, where, like, they have a Beanstalk and I don't, so they are going to pull just leagues ahead of me. Alright. Is there not another untapped green source in here? Oh no, there's Bayous. There are Bayous that I can't get off of these lands. Oh no. I am going to become the Joker. I'm so upset. Yeah. Alright. Tap to Xander's Lounge. Last turn. God damn it. I'm so dead. I just don't think I can possibly win the game from here. 1 more Wasteland also just makes it so that casting Uro is nigh impossible. God damn it. 17. Cool. To have any shot at winning this game, I think I have to do that with Force of Will backup. And then my opponent's Murderous Cut will only double cantrip. And maybe not kill my thing. We're fine continuing to take hits from this little duder. So that is a green source. We don't have a second. So we're just gonna stay the course. Yeah. How do I win? I can't let Thoughtseize take this Murktide. I can't let them edict it. So I think the way to split this is to make the face-up pile very attractive and then trick my opponent into taking Tropical Island Veil of Summer. And then if they take the top pile, I'm just fucked. I think we are on long shots here. All right, Shoulder's Edict, Thoughtseize went into the graveyard. That is fantastic. We'll just pass turn. Now, the Veil of Summer does mean that if they do end up having a Force of Will, they are just very good at using it. There's like no way I could cast that. Absolutely not. Actually, what if I just cast it for 2/2/2s and don't attack? Oh, that's so sad. I'm gonna do it though. There's a good chance my opponent just counters it anyway. What is this one getting? Second white with Scrubland? Yeah, I think this is just 2 sad 2/2s. Alright, it's resolved. I'm just going to pass the turn. I am not introducing the Monarch into the game when my opponent is going to be very good at taking it. Yes. Double cantripping Murderous Cut. Double cantripping Murderous Cut. There's so many looks at Wasteland, by the way. But wait, there's more. You can have it. Like, I've been trying to set up Murktide Regent back by Force of Will for like 5 turns. And there's only one more green source in my deck. Not guaranteed to do it. I don't think I Force of Will to protect an Uro that I might not ever be able to cast. Oh no. Now what? Mystic Sanctuary. Or Sauron's Ransom, sure. This is miserable. Like, my opponent's deck is just a more mana consistent version of my deck, and one that's lower to the ground with their Wastelands and Dazes. And now I have to play this sub game again. I'm gonna concede. The spirit is broken. Today's video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, which is an absolutely awesome place to keep all of your deck lists. I keep all of my personal deck lists there as well, in addition to all of the stuff that I do for the stream. And in the future, they're going to have a social media site on here too. So if you're worried about other certain websites dying, maybe join Moxfield, put your deck lists up there, and in the future, you'll be there for social media stuff too. All right, I've kept this one. At turn 1 Ponder, turn 2 Beans. Maybe. Fable occurs. So I don't know whether or not I am playing against a Moon Stompy deck list or an initiative deck yet, and that distinction is really important for whether or not Blood Moons happen. I think I'm probably going to end up Solitude pitching to Fairy to just get rid of this token to keep my opponent from getting more mana. And I think I'm going to do that off a Tundra that I am, or a Ponder, that I am working towards white mana for Leyline Binding. I don't know that I want 2 of these. Actually, I would need to take all 3. Like Plains, or no, I could shuffle with Lorien Revealed in my upkeep a few turns down the line. I'm just going to shuffle this. Like hitting something like a Force of Will could be big. And as much as I want to like wait a turn to cantrip with this, I don't think I give my opponent the mana. Get out of here. And then we just like work on Up the Beanstalk into Leyline Binding Fable and go from there. All right, we don't have to worry about Blood Moon in game 1 in all likelihood. An initiative creature is rough here because I'm incentivized to just remove that before I play the Beanstalk so that I don't take 1 billion damage. Force of Will is 1 card too late. I think I just end up using Leyline Binding on Caves of Chaos Adventurer in my opponent's upkeep. I wait for them to decide whether or not they are going to forge. They are. Get out of my house. Goodbye. Then I've got Force of Will for my opponent's next thing, and then hopefully I can just find a removal spell for this before it does something gross. I don't care about it as a 2/2. Can you destroy an enchantment? Non-creature, non-land with mana value 2 or less, so no. Let's get the Up the Beanstalk in play while leaving up white mana in case I draw into like a Swords to Plowshares negative. But this is a fine point to pass the turn. Get trapped for 5, which is like not the best. I think I'm on track to stabilize. I'm at 12 after this. My opponent's probably passing the turn here. I think I do an end of turn brainstorm. Try to smooth out the next turn cycle. Bowmasters plus Wasteland is unironically like very good. Alright, bam. Bam. Wasteland. Wasteland that plateau. Call it a turn. We'll ping with Bowmasters. Then block with the Orc token. Oh, actually. This is an obligatory choice. In that case, just ping this directly now. And my opponent draws their card. And now we do this thing. You cast a Solitude. I will Force of Will that and draw that land, giving me a fresh draw for my turn. Then take out the Reflection. I get to attack and take the initiative. And we're probably golden from here. Another Witherbloom command. Sure. We're gonna go ahead and send in for 3. Opponent's at 19. I get to pull a basic out of my deck. I'll just take the planes. Witherbloom command. Mill 3. Drain 2. Yeah. Black. Green. I can use the next one to get back a Wasteland if I want it. No, let's get the Wasteland now. Play this. Call it a turn. Game's not over, in my opinion, but I'm very favored. So what do I want here? Terminus is reasonable. Hydroblast is reasonable. Brazen Borrower buys time. I might end up playing some Force of Vigor or Pernicious Deed style things. Dress Down is slow, but is a way to stop initiative. My cards are generally speaking reasonable. Witherbloom command is weird because it's like not a very good card, except for when it gets rid of the Chalice of the Void. That's very important. My build only has 2 Leyline Bindings. I guess I also have Teferi. Let's pull that. Let's pull 4th Eorlingas. Gives me a Hydroblast for like Caves of Chaos Adventurers and Fables and some other stuff. Pick up an extra Terminus to have luck sack answers to a scary board. And then like there's some reasonable cards that I could play. Like this stuff. I think I'm just going to fill with 1 Force of Vigor. It answers like Fables and Chalice. Well, I don't necessarily want Force of Vigor in my opener, but here it is. Sometimes I just die if I keep this hand. I don't know that this one's good enough. Like, it's got Bowmasters into a removal spell, just like how much damage do I take along the way if Hydroblast isn't valid. Let's try to keep this. Like, the mana's not perfect here, because this can't get Scrubland. Oh, it's going to 5. And keeps on 5. Hopefully they just, like, don't do a stellar turn 1 play. Alright, we've got a Force of Vigor or a Teferi for that. This is not the end of the world. It does mean that my Hydroblast just sort of innately gets worse. But I now can Force of Vigor. Do I let them imprint? It feels like no. Like, I just Force of Vigor that in response to the trigger. And make them throw away City of Traders to cast a card. Alright, Chalice Chrome Mox, lose Beanstalk. Yeah. Well, we won. I don't know that I feel good, but we won. Alright, I have kind of a medium opening hand here. Like, I can Force of Will if I absolutely have to. I would really prefer not to. This just exists as a safety net. They're potentially playing against an opposing control deck list, and it's one that's going to be heavy on basics, so like this Wasteland isn't going to look the best. Okay, drawing another Force of Will means I can now cast this Ponder. In theory, I would like to find green mana. That's green mana, I guess. Sure. Like, if these Force of Wills can start cantripping, that would be cool. Sure. Again, lots of basics. I am fine just jamming the Beanstalk here. Actual factual spell pierce. Awkward. Let's force that, pitching the force. Because if this resolves, I get an actual like live draw next turn, and then I can hopefully use Brainstorm to transform this hand into something more respectable. What have I done to deserve this? What have I done? Who did I hurt? Give me a name. Just tell me what I did wrong. I guess I have a couple of Leyline Bindings in my deck that could get me out of this. But that's frustrating. Like, my cantrips aren't really going to be castable this game. My arrows aren't going to be castable. Playing removal spells are kind of rough. My opponent has things like Spell Pierce as soft permission to back up whatever I use to try to get rid of this. Sure. I mean, it resolves. I can Swords to Plowshares it, and then you just, like, hardcast whatever you put in hand. Yeah. Are we just done? I mean, I think I've lost. But let's pretend. I can just draw a Leyline Binding, it magically resolves, and I take out the back to basics, and then I can untap and do something that's more powerful than a Batter Skull. Cool. You got it, boss. My beans can get forced out of play. Oh, no, they're not going for that. Cool. Alright. Let's just not. Yeah, so this is... It's gonna be rough, assuming there's more than one copy of Back to Basics in that deck. I'm just, like, not gonna be great at answering it. I wish I had more Leyline Bindings than just the two. I can preemptively play out something like a Pernicious Deed to keep that from happening. I can Brazen Borrower as a bounce spell for it, that only goes so far. I guess Force of Vigor is actively good. I also have to, like, respect True Name Nemesis. Let's say that Witherbloom commands are expendable. Let's turn those into Force of Vigors. Get another Terminus in here, getting rid of a Solitude. And I think I'm going to go down one hard win condition, or just one more bounce spell. Or like a Cauldra Germ, or a Back to Basics. That is no lands. This is fine. It's not good, but it's fine. I'm going to get rid of Force of Will here. It's just not looking great. And I'm kind of reliant on Up the Beanstalk to do something cool. That can get me a basic later if I need it. Am I just trying to maximize colors? Like Bayou Tundra? Sounds good. Because we can't just fully play around Back to Basics. So I think I'm going to just... God damn it. I think I'm just going to ignore Back to Basics and will Force Vigor it if it happens. These Spell Pierces have been so clutch for my opponent. But I need the redraw, because my hand is just literal nothing. That's another basic. Don't get Wasteland value. I don't think we're close enough to the point where this is a spell that I keep it as a spell. I think I'm just going to get my final remaining color and get a tapped land out of the way. That's Wastelandable. That's not Swords to Plowshareable. This is a disaster. Chase the Mind Sculptor. Fuck. It's not like that card is that good or anything, but I have just nothing going on. Alright. Play Teferi, around a daze. Bill gets no spells. Jace got pitched. I'll try to take my opponent off a white, but they just get to, like, re-cantrip off Narset. So, like, my opponent has the onboard card advantage. So, my 1-for-1 is not good. Force of Will. Well, that is insane. My own Force of Will, on the other hand, is quite bad. Yeah, every turn that, like, we sit here and my opponent just, like, makes land drops, I think it is favorable for them. Stoneforge resolves. I will Swords to Plowshares the creature, and we can hopefully just hard cast a Force of Vigor rather than pitch cast it, but I don't have green. So attempt removal spell. I know my opponent has Force, but I wouldn't Force if I were them. Great. Very obviously not what I'm looking for. So there's a land drop. My opponent can now fetch and batter skull if they want. Yeah, it's unclear that that's even good. Okay. Force of Vigor is hard castable. Doing so will make it spell pierceable though. Alright, there's batter skull. It resolves. Given that Force of Vigor is a 4-mana play, I'm very far away from playing that around Spell Pierce, so I think I just try to Force of Vigor twice. Get out. Okay, it just worked. Hey, a Brainstorm. That's the perfect card. Wait. I need like an Orcish Bowmaster's. Bowmaster's ping that, unlock my Brainstorm. Be good. My opponent's just got like 5 cards in hand, and they're almost certainly reactive cards though. Or lands. I can now hardcast Force of Will. That's actually a big upgrade. It would be great if they were cantripping. We will attempt to say no to that. This is very, very, very bad if it resolves. Like, I will Force of Will to fight over this card. Like, a second time. No? Sure. Are you just gonna, like, back to basics me and then, like, have Spell Pierce back up? This has all been an elaborate ruse. Nope, okay. Great, another cantrip. Cool, cool, cool. Someday I will kill this Narset. God damn it. This comes back twice next turn. I mean, I say no, because otherwise all my future counterspells don't work. And I think I just hardcast this rather than pitch cast this, like my opponent has shown me the last couple of turns that they don't have Spell Pierce. Sure. You just have red for sideboard red blasts. Got it. Sure. That is almost certainly wrong to downtick that against an Orcish Bowmaster's deck when your board is this good. Oh, okay, sure. Getting Cauldra. Am I getting to the point where I have to just ponder, not draw the extra card, just use it to select for a meaningful draw? I think so. It just sucks. No. Shuffle. I don't get to redraw immediately, because that's how Narset works. So my ponder was just a free card for my opponent, just no text. Fairy gets to uptick, my opponent gets to Cauldra me. And life's generally speaking bad. I'm at 12. I can't cast this at this timing. So no reveal, I have to just hard cast it. Just Spell Pierce me. Spell Pierce me and end me. Oh, cool. It resolved. My opponent just have like 69 copies of Swords to Plowshares in hand. Oh, just instant speed Lorien revealed. Sure. Opponent also just has enough to equip any duder that they find with Cauldra. Life's terrible. There's a new fetch land. What else? Okay, it's just clearing. And a shuffle. Back to basics. Fantastic. I technically have a Force of Vigor for that, but I will require a green card in addition to answering the multiple Planeswalkers on board and the Cauldra. I think I'm just gonna show myself the door. I don't like this. Second hand is perfectly reasonable, assuming that my goddamn Up the Beanstalk actually resolves for a change. We're going to throw away the Wasteland and just keep the highest number of colored pips. Sure. I guess before Bowmasters comes down, I should consider playing either Brainstorm or Ponder. I'll Brainstorm in my opponent's upkeep. And shuffle with Lorien revealed if it's really bad. Sure. Underground Sea is expected after seeing Polluted Delta. And you will cycle a Lorien revealed. That's fine. Grabbing Trop. So let's just Brainstorm before a Bowmasters can come down. My own Bowmasters. Oh, this is sweet. I'll just put some Ponders on top of my deck. But if we're playing against like a bug version again that just has a bunch of Wastelands, I will be sad. You get your Up the Beanstalk. And hopefully I get my Up the Beanstalk. Then we can play an actual game of Magic. But if my opponent just like has Force of Will that cantrips, I am going to cry. Bayou? Bayou. Play beans? God damn it. I feel like my opponents have done their thing in every round, and I have just been a goddamn punching bag. Like, luckily I have another Up the Beanstalk that I can just, like, do next turn. But, like... Fuck! Fuck these fucking wastelands. Sure. That's fine. Thoughtseize, you take the other Beanstalk. Alright, cool. Our other Beanstalk at least gets to be cast. Sure. Fetch. I can grab, like, Valk to get multiple... I can just get another Tundra. I mean, Tundra is the thing that I want to pair with this. I don't really need that much red mana. Uh-huh. Cool. No, fucking fantastic. Like, I have already seen how this match plays out, and it's me losing easily. Alright. Sure. And there's more. Thoughtseize my Bowmasters? Yeah. 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 Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Let's ponder. For the Eorlingas even good. I'll take the Uro. No shuffle. Cycle with Lorien revealed. Pick up a tropical island. Play tropical island. I think ponder rather than just pick up another land immediately. Okay. Sure. No shuffle, pass turn. Not wasteland is good. So, let's fetch. I'll pick up a volcanic island. Then we have all the colors. We'll attempt to just Leyline Binding this Up the Beanstalk. End my opponent's source of card advantage. And then play an Uro. We get Force of Negation. What did that pitch? Pitching a Murktide Regent. The Beanstalk is still alive. Let's take my Uro redraw. Fantastic. Get punished for card draw. Hopefully the Uro is strong enough another turn down the line that this doesn't matter. Murktide's not bad either. But this Orcish Bowmasters does 5 damage in the first turn cycle that it's around. 5 instant damage for 3 mana. Confirmed good. What is this that is taking them a while to cast? Not like Murderous Cut. You have my Hooting Mandrills? Witherbloom command, sure. The other mode, Drain. The other mode's Drain. Ugh, this just returns that fucking wasteland. And makes it so that I don't get to cast Uro this turn some portion of the time. Disgusting. Yeah. This is not enjoyable. Like, I don't know if the metagame has just shifted so that, like, this bug version is just better, but it is certainly preying on what I am doing incredibly effectively. I'm at 13. Let's island cycle this. Find a new green source. Got another trop in the deck, I believe. Yep. Play trop. I'm gonna drop a Murktide Regent. Brainstorm Ponder. Ponder, Lorien revealed. Lorien revealed, we'll play it around days. Murderous Cut. Sure, that's fine. Finding Mystic Sanctuary. Mystic Sanctuary cannot find something that kills Murktide Regent. I think I don't cast the Ponder. Sure, that means I'm not getting wastelanded this turn. It's kind of huge. Oh shit, I missed Sheoldred's Edict that they milled over. That can answer the Murktide. Sure, I am fine with that trade. So my Uro gets to resolve, and I get to hit my opponent for 8. Witherbloom command. That can kill Bowmaster eventually. I don't think I care though. Not right now. Right, like I just play Uro. I sacrifice Uro to the Edict, and my opponent is deterministically dead. Shout out to Murktide Regent for being a fair and balanced Magic the Gathering card. 1, 2, Actually, let's cancel that. I have a Witherbloom command, so I want to leave lands if possible. So, like flooded, misty, beanstalk. Beanstalk sounds good. I'm gonna leave myself another. I guess I could have gotten rid of Bowmasters over one of the fetches. Or Eorlingas. Don't mind if I do. Alright, I get pinged, my opponent draws the Edict, and they're dead. I sacrifice Uro. I don't know why you're burning your clock when you are behind on clock. Okay, they figured it out. Cool. So I think previously I went out this for some of the sideboard cards that I played. I think I want to play Veil. I think I'm going to play a Brazen Borrower as another way to get like opposing beans. I don't know, this is so bad versus Orcish Bowmasters. Oh, maybe I just play one more land. I'm just getting wastelanded so much. Alright, I had to step away from the computer for a couple minutes to take care of something. I don't have enough mana here. Is it fine with Brainstorm to fix this? I don't think so. I think I just mulligan and try to keep something with some more mana. This'll do, I guess. Throw back the basic. I think the plan with this hand is plow through wastelands, not play around it. You may ponder. And that's no shuffle. I don't really want to see another land. I think I am just going to fetch main phase Brainstorm and put Terminus 2 down. And if I can fetch it away, cool. Drop. These Brainstorm patterns are so fucking wild. Terminus goes 2 down. I will always just redraw a land, I guess. Could be Bowmasters. Do Bowmasters now if you had it. Force of Will fucking beans every time. I think pitching the Ponder. And then like my opponent just can daze this. That's rough. Yep. Now my opponent is very noticeably ahead. I probably need to Brainstorm while they're still tapped out so I don't get Bowmastered. Doesn't feel great. I know one of these cards is a Terminus that I don't want to draw. Damn it. Put this back. I'll put Terminus on top with the intention of fetching it away at my opponent's end step, unless they like play, you know, a Leovold or something that I need to Terminus. But I am on 4 blanks. Maybe the Xander's Lounge should have gone back into deck. Black source. Black-white source maybe for variety. Fantastic Force of Will. I'm going to end up cycling this Xander's Lounge. I'll wait till my opponent's end step. That gives them one more draw for a Bowmaster, though. I could, like, not cycle Xander's Lounge right now, because it incentivizes my opponent playing a Bowmaster when I can't Force a Will it, but I don't think I can not use my mana. So woefully behind. Okay. This is one of the first potentially positive plays for me in quite some time. Hopefully it just resolves. Oh shit, it just resolved. That's really cool. I don't ponder. I just pass with Force of Will that cantrip's available. I think my opponent is ahead, but we're on even adjacent footing. Also, do I have a Mystic Sanctuary in this deck list? No. Understood. Beans. Let's make my land drop now. Do it again. Orcish Bowmasters. So if I Force of Will right now, I draw 1 card. If I Force of Will in just a second, I draw multiple cards. But I don't really want my opponent to have a Bowmasters. I'm just going to Force of Will now. Draw my card. Opponent Force of Will's back. Let's clear the stack. Pick up a Swords to Plowshares. That's a great thing for me. Swords, your bow boy. You get your orc. And then do I get a second Up the Beanstalk? I do. I'm okay taking some hits from this token, like we've done previously. And now, like, my Leyline Bindings, Force of Wills, all that sort of stuff end up cantripping. boarded out a few things, right? Like I boarded out 2 Solitudes and 4th Eorlingas. It's not like I'm totally maxed out on those, but there are enough of them. Lorien Revealed would be hot. Just draw 5. Now I'm at the point of the game where, like, a Wasteland is not that devastating. Although I think it knocks me off red forever if this gets hit. They're going for Trops for Uro purposes. That is a perfectly reasonable take. I don't care about this damage. 14. Oh, it's Lorien Revealed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even if this gets countered, I still draw 2 off of it. I think I am good with that accordingly. Trop. This would be a devastating Orcish Bowmasters. Oh, there's a fetch. Opponent might have it. Yeah, this is going to sting a bit. So my opponent is going to deal so much damage to my face here. I'm like not guaranteed to draw another land next turn to be able to do this with Source to Plowshare's backup though. Like I would have this time. But that is not generically the case. Wait, am I dead? 3, 7. Oh, I think that killed me. I should have done the math for that. Yeah, I thought it was bad, not I am like literally dead for doing that. Alright. Gross. Play a couple Force of Vigors for beans. I know I said this a handful of times, but like I do wish I just had more copies of Leyline Binding. Like that answering opposing beans. While cantripping is kind of a big deal. Get rid of Terminus. Let's fight a little harder over Force of Vigor, maybe. Mana seems tight. Like, mana is tight enough that I don't know that I can always just Veil of Summer to protect whatever card I'm playing. And let's bring this back in when I'm on the play to just have one more finisher. Grunt is approximately how I feel about this. Let's find beans. Those aren't beans. Just go ahead and shuffle. Don't Pithing Needle me on Misty Rainforest. Would be devastating. Sure. Looking for like beans and Bowmaster right now. Did not succeed in finding them. My hand's pretty terrible. Days is so good against me. It's really annoying. I think I've got to cast this. No. I just don't think Teferi lines up well against like a Bowmasters here. Plus, like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, this matchup is so bean-centric that it's ridiculous. I assume my opponent's going to do end of turn Bowmasters. I'm just going to let it resolve and hit me, and then I'll Shouldered Edict on my turn when I have more mana available. Oh, no. Sure. Also, how is my opponent this much lower on clock than me? Like, I walked away and went to the bathroom for a few minutes, and they're still this far behind. Like, we're not quite to the point where the clock is, like, hyper relevant yet, but we are on the way. Still no plays. This is weird. What opponent has, like, counter spells, removal spells? Murktide is a reasonable read. Wasteland's fine. That is not the end of the world right now. Like, it's ever so slightly annoying, but that's all. It is my own Murktide Regent. I don't think I play it yet. Like, there's only 2 Ponders in there. We can do better. I can also play it when I have double Force of Will available, potentially. Sure. Land go is fine. Am I the Wasteland deck now? I don't know that I am. Like, I can just hardcast Force of Wills. Mana doesn't really seem to be a limiting factor over there. Beans. I could let them draw a card and Force of Vigor it. I think I'd rather fully keep this out of play, though. I hardcast Force of Will, I open up Daze, which is currently a very bad card. I don't think I open up myself to Daze here. I think I attempt to hardcast Force of Will. Or sorry, pitchcast Force of Will. And take that exchange like that. Xander's Lounge. Unexciting. I don't think I'm on Murktide until I can back it up with at least one counterspell. I'm a little surprised that that is just cycling. given that my opponent is already on 4 lands. Draw 3s are good, yo. Like, I'm showing a commitment to not waste landing and just keeping this as a mana source as well. Oh boy. Hello. We are definitely flexing the clock as a resource here. Like, every time my opponent spends 30 seconds essentially doing nothing with their turns, that is favorable for me. Blood blue. You don't have time to be sitting here. Why are we doing something while I still have mana? I just want to extract my Force of Wills. That's annoying. I think I try to resolve a Bowmasters in response so that I can consider firing off a Force of Will if something happens to this Bowmasters, and make it so that my opponent's like supposed fight over the Force of Will is just like not as good. Unfortunately, my opponent thought about casting something and then figured it out, so I think I just let this go. I don't have Force of Will to protect this Bowmasters anymore, which means I probably transition to an aggro role and just like play Murktide Regent. Yeah. You shoot my Bowmasters. I get a black source. Sacrifice a non-token creature to get rid of your Bowmasters. Alright, we each have a 1/1. You've burned about a minute of clock this turn. Like, my opponent can drop like a Murktide Regent here and it resolves, and it's kind of scary. Yep, that's fine. Still takes 3 turns to kill me, and I'm gonna have my own Murktide, if it absolutely comes down to it. Sure. Get another blue source. Probably a Trop in respect of Uros. Edict, Ponder, Fetchland, Bowmasters. I could pay more mana into this if I wanted. I don't know that I have to. I can also just trade Murktide Regent for Murktide Regent. That is a thing that I am allowed to do. I think my opponent's just going to Murderous Cut my Murktide. Like, that just feels likely. That was a very fast shuffle. And more cantrips. How many Bowmasters are gone from my opponent? Just 1. Noted. Sure, that's fine. I think I would have gone after Trop. Oh, do you have another Murktide? I board out Terminus. I did. That's some shit. So I'll take 8 here. As long as I can find an answer to this Murktide Regent, I'm perfectly fine. This second one is smaller. I get a redraw, assuming this resolves. Cool. Force of Vigor not doing me a lot of good. My opponent knows my last card is Force of Vigor from, whatchamacallit, Surgical Extraction. So if they attack with all 3, can block, go to 1. This shuts off both fetch lands. I don't think I'm on outs. Certainly can't do anything without white mana. I think I need to chump block. And then I don't know how I go from there. But another land is not going to do it. And our opponent narrowly avoids timing out. Okay. As long as I don't get wastelanded, this is probably fine. Just turn 1 Bayou cycle. Hopefully don't get fucking Blood Moon. And then have access to most of my colors at once. Could be Painter. No, it is Name Sticker Goblin. I think I'm just solituding this to stop the trigger and slow down my opponent. We'll pitch the Teferi. Get out of here. I might not have to worry about getting got in game 1. I think I need to be holding up swords in this turn cycle. Means grabbing Tundra as a complement to Bayou. I think I need to hold up swords. As much as I want to ponder and then Lorien revealed shuffled, I think that has to wait 1 turn. It's like another sticker goblin could come down right now. Goblin Chieftain will resolve. I'll Bowmasters that one in combat. Pew pew. Alright. Hang that. Block with the orc. Cleanly answered that creature. And now I get to work on my mana and work towards playing a Murktide Regent. So, ponder. Beans? Sure. Yeah. Full beans. No shuffle. Land. Fetch. Last color, get Volk. Play beans. Force of Will would have been the absolute perfect ideal. But you can't always have that. So now I can work on... God damn it. At least it's not Muxus. And do damage control on the ground versus normal creatures. Oh. Well, fuck that. That's real bad. So I take 3, and then Broadside kills Orcish Bowmasters. Oh, just going for my face. Well, that feels wrong, but who am I to judge? Trop. Play Trop. Swords. You. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one doesn't really matter. Draw a card for Murktide. Pass turn. Opponent makes a goblin. Then I'll block this. If I block here, then these never get in for damage again. So I am good with that as a trade, just conceptually speaking. Brainstorm. I find removal. I can potentially just attack with Murktide. Blue, red, white, green, black. This is 1 mana. Seems good. Bury Uro. Put Ponder on top. Play land. Play beans. Draw Ponder. Cast Ponder. Uro's fine as a follow-up. Go shuffle. I guess I don't have to Leyline Binding now. I can do it on my opponent's turn. They go to 10. Alright. So let's Leyline Binding, draw 2. Take out the Rabble Master. I would like to find a Force of Will or a potential Muxus. Or find another Murktide to just kill my opponent this turn. These are like fine. I don't think any of these stop me from dying to like the worst case Muxus scenarios though. Add the life total? Add the life total. Okay, opponent's just done with me. That's fine. Alright, my opponent's deck is fast. Terminus good, Hydroblast good. Then like we get into this tier of things that can stop a Sticker Goblin. Deed is playable. I'm not sure that Force of Vigor is. Not the most interested in Witherbloom command. I think 4th Eorlingas is a card that I can do once I'm already stable, and it doesn't help me before that. Let's cut that. Fairy's a little awkward. Gives me a Terminus and 2 Hydroblasts. I think I want Deed as well. I think I have to keep Bowmasters. Does this mean Teferi as temporary bounce is just going? Not particularly good versus Sticker Goblin. That seems okay. And then I just don't end up doing Dress Down, despite how good it can be. I just don't know what the cut would be. Okay. We're getting game 1. I only have to win one of the next 2, which is nice. This is a perfectly reasonable hand. My opponent has gone to 4. I think I let that go. It just forces them to go down another card. Sure. Yeah, I just Force of Will this and move on with my life. Brainstorm or Lorien Revealed. I think Lorien Revealed goes. Let's just keep the board clear. We have multiple beans. And opponent's chilling. So, let's pick up... I need white mana. For sure. And I think once I have a white card for Solitude, I will feel relatively safe. a Ponder. Probably Ponder and then play Beans off this one, I think. Oh, yuck. Some very scary things can happen if I just play Up the Beanstalk. I think I'm just going to Brainstorm again and try to make things safer. Did not succeed. Put back 1 and 2. I'll just fetch. We'll keep grabbing colors. We'll grab black now. Ponder. That Wasteland is really good. If my opponent misses, I'm okay with that. Not my ideal, but I think this has a chance to just end the game. Another Ancient Tomb. Magus of the Moon. That's annoying. It is not game over. But like this is why I was trying to find either a white card or a Force of Will very aggressively last turn, was to stop things like this. Alright, take 2. Sure, and now my opponent's other cards start becoming a second one. Absolutely, fuck you. That is disgusting. So I will Island Cycle, pick up the basic, and we can start working towards other things. Plains is cool. Put back some lands. The rest of this stuff is castable off red mana. That is legitimately annoying, because that is just enough damage that I don't think I can win. And we lost to a mult of 4 against this deck. Yeah, so I have no castable spells. And we lose on a mult of 4. And we have to play another game. I could board in a basic swamp to have one more basic. That basic doesn't actually help me cast very many spells, but I guess it does let me cast things that do remove a Magus. Alright, I guess I'll play it. Pull like 1 Ponder or something. That is an embarrassing loss, though. Yeah, we have a starting Hydroblast and an Edict. This is fine. Land pass. Sure. Chalice is really annoying. That stops my Hydroblast. So this probably needs to be black mana. I'll Island Cycle this for a basic to just have that around. I believe it is correct to Wasteland my opponent and just try to buy some time here. Sure. Cavern is rough. On human, you just have Magus innately. Can't Hydroblast because of Chalice. Sure. Alright. I mean, I can draw my swamp. I can draw a white card for Solitude. Sure. Fantastic. Edict is no longer an out to Magus. I have no idea why that Magus didn't attack. I can't Bowmaster. Mapcaster Mage is not played in this format. That's not a playable card. Cool, cool, cool. Sharp. Rabblemaster. Just wrecks me here. At 10. And I'm dead. Well, that was a fun league. Let's never do that again. Yeah, so I felt like I spent the last 2 hours being metagamed against very hard. Like, the bug version of this deck list has a smoother mana base and can play Wastelands to punish my mana base. I have a couple basics in the deck, but not... Like, I'm a 5-color deck. I can't play my game off 2 or even 3 basics reasonably. And when I get Blood Mooned, my primary win conditions, which are all multi-pip cards, all basically get shut off. This was awful. A similar version a few weeks ago, one Eternal Weekend. We can't play Triumph of St. Catherine online, so like, that's a thing. I am sure this deck is misbuilt, but I don't have the reps to tell you how and why it's misbuilt. I can tell you I want more copies of Leyline Binding. Like, that card was something I was constantly wanting to top deck. It was giving me outs to opposing beans and just I think one of the draws of playing this specific build is just like 8 1-mana white removal spells. I don't know if you're supposed to play Witherbloom Command if you are in the 5-color version. Like, I know that Wastelands were devastating me, and like this is a way to get them back, but like I think a Life from the Loam functions better if that's what you want it for. And Witherbloom Command was just like constantly not removal for the things I needed it to be removal for. I just kind of felt like things were awkward the whole league. Now, like I don't know my sideboard and my approach for every matchup, so like take some of what I am saying with a grain of salt here. But like if the metagame looks like what I just played against, I felt like I was on the wrong side of every matchup today. Let me know down in the comments below what you think, and if you end up needing to pick up any cards to try out something that looks like this, check out Cool Stuff Inc. and use promo code ThrabenU to save a little bit on your next order. No more beans. I mean, like, beans are legitimately pretty cool, but we just got bodied this league, and sometimes that happens. All right, anyway, have a great rest of the day. See ya.